Turn my homie just died up a bad perk. I'm lucky you lucky just act smurf. Put her up beside the wood first. You suck it good, you get a good purse. 20 million, I was in the trenches. I just stand no business on the voice, can't give out a bad verse.
If I like you like it, I'ma change your whole life like it's nothing. Girl, I know not to stop when you come in. I be busy, I'm not in my comments. I be playing with that fire like I'm John Wick. Don't be walking up on me. I be ballin' the 2040, I promise I'm not for the moment. I be killing that shit when I get there and wake up and kill it again in the morning. I be chillin', but trust me, I handle the business when it's time to get it, I zone it. On the same way if I'm with shitty niggas who be killing or I'm by my lonely. I be laughing a lot, but don't get it confused in the blink of an eye. I click, I ain't never gonna switch.
Smart.
Something bad for me, shit. You gotta get it, this shit in blood, huh? Bitch, I got my own fight, don't need security in the club. All they wolfing on the net, nigga, I thought you was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go, I shot up everywhere they was. Yeah, you know who took this shit from you, come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood. We ain't mask up, no Dodger X, niggas know who it was. Extorting shit just like the 80s, want some back, get it in blood. Yeah, you know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood. If your nigga killer ain't dead, you should wear no RP shirt. We had 300 shots up in the car before we picked up dirt. Niggas who ain't got shit going, go grab a glizzy, get alert. Shots to G-Post, RP, and Breeze, he in the dirt. You gotta know I go too far. Got 2 O's up on this honey, one of them might stand for O-Block. About 20 some shots left up in the K, 15 still in the Glock. Keep my door unlocked and stop, I like getting on feet, park the car. We get up close, doing dirty, I ain't showing love. 11,000 all ones, left my right pocket in the club. Blue faces up on me dirty, I went got it out the mud. If I took some, get it in blood, I don't give a fuck where we was. Bitch, I got my own, if I don't need security in the club. All they wolfing on the net, nigga, I thought you was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go, I shot up everywhere they was. Yeah, you know who took this shit from you, come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood. We ain't mask up, no Dodger X, niggas know who it was. Extorting shit just like the 80s, want some back, get it in blood. Yeah, you know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood.
Cute your man, you keep on talking, better get that shit in blood. Give my shorty them a dub, then they gon' walk inside the club. Hit his little ass with that switch, I bet that switch up his nerve. Fuck the ops inside my city, little bro, put them in the mud. You can't come back to your hood, huh? No. He was dissing on my cousin, now his ass all in that wood, huh? Book his ass, I wish he would come. Pussy. B-Roy pop up out that car with that new Glock, I wish he would run. His ass playing, bitch, I'm really icy. Really icy. Too shicey, that's my dog. But Pooh, you know I'm really shicey. You told all them OT niggas that you really slide. Pussy. Tell the truth about your game, bitch, they really dying, gang.
Bitch, I got my own fight, don't need security in the club. All they wolfing on the net, nigga, I thought you was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go, I shot up everywhere they was. Yeah, you know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood. We ain't mask up, no Dodger X, niggas know who it was. Extorting shit just like the 80s, want some back, get it in blood. Yeah, you know who took that shit from you, come get it back in blood. Bitch, come get it back in blood. Big brr.
Bagging up the mouse, we do the mouse dog. Got a wretched in my coat, got a girl doing coke. We drink up and we smoke, but she always do the most. It kinda turned me on the way she licking on my stones. My chains on antifreeze, it look like I made a clone. Wanna see you get more sassy, to bring out better emotion. She called me a god the way I floated in her ocean. When I brought it, I gave her a dose of, she was already hooked. If you always there for me, that's a really good look. I'm changing up your salary, cause I'm getting to know you. Tell me your availability, I want all of you. If it's like that, then it's like that. Cause you lighten up like lightning. I smack it up, get feisty. Can't tell a touch, but I say you gon' tell the world they floss. Thank you for fooling your lost. You're a good girl, but you're naughty. I would never miss out on Pilates. I let you stunt next to Bugatti. Damn God, bitch, you with a body. Me and T girls say cheap beats, numbers, they slide.
How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay. Hitman in a top try, see a man topless, even a stick is gay. Hugging my brothers and say that I love them, but I don't swing that way. The man them celebrate Eid, the trap still running on Christmas Day. Somebody told Doja Cat that I'm trying to indulge in that. And my great tracksuit, see the bulge in that. See the motion clap when you're throwing it back. These females planning on doing me wrong, so I'm grabbing a dom at the Trojan pack. Post the location after we're gone, can't slip and let them know where we're at. I don't know about you, but I value my life. Cause imagine I die, and I ain't made 100 M's yet. There's so much things I ain't done yet, like fucking a flight attendant. I don't party, but I heard Cardi there, so fuck it, I might attend it. Gotta kick back sometimes and wonder how life would have been if I never did take them risks and would have I prospered. Floating and I won't go under. Been out of town for a month. Absence made the love grow fonder. UK rapper, UK drill, gotta mention my name if you talk about the genre. Alright. How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay. Hitman in a top try, see a man topless, even a stick is gay. Hugging my brothers and say that I love them, but I don't swing that way. The man them celebrate Eid, the trap still running on Christmas Day. How can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay. Hitman in a top try, see a man topless, even a stick is gay. Hugging my brothers and say that I love them, but I don't swing that way. The man them celebrate Eid, the trap still running on Christmas Day.
No, you be stepping on shit. It's that stepping music right here. Come on.
Step one, you catch a op, make sure you wet one. Step two, never turn right, till you left one. This nickname yoga, hot Glock stretch. Niggas say they steps, we couldn't pass when we test them. We be stepping. We be stepping. We stepping. He stepping, man. Shot to this stomach. He paralyzed. He can't walk no more. What's his name? Got hit all in his shit. He can't talk no more.
We'll start in like 5 minutes.
He don't want the Glock no more. He don't even want that bitch no more. Fuck. We stay bending blocks. I think the ops trying to play hide and seek. We the ones seeking, they the ones hiding. It ain't hard to see. Chasing niggas down, drive by who? We hopping out on feet. Little bitch come eat. I ain't trying to talk. I stuff their lips with me. Look, I ain't trying to wife you. Bitch, I really like you. Box two, I'ma just shoot. I ain't finna fight you. Switch it up. You see us in a fishbowl. Just know them switches tuck. Better be cool and be smooth. You think about flipping.
Damn,
up.
Elijah,
Step
my
one,
bad.
You catch
Sorry
eye,
about
make sure
that.
you wet one. Step two, never turn right.
He's in
till
heaven.
You left one. This nickname yoga, hot Glock stretch. Niggas say they steps, we couldn't pass when we test them. We be stepping. We be stepping. We stepping. We stepping on shit.
Right, nigga hit him first and hit his counter light. Walk him down, caught on man, his bitch out since the body found. All I need is 50 rounds with the switches like 100 rounds. Dead man, I just put a 50 on his headband. See his Dracos in this bitch, we ready for war like Pakistan. My best man, he just like Ginobili.
Barney, you hear me right now.
Get no get back when we spend,
I'll
we
send
got
you
the
the
top
thing.
man. Top boy, acting like you got bitch, you need to stop boy. Hot boy, nigga be talking that rah-rah chopper, stop noise. Ain't no talking no more. Nigga be talking like bitches. I pull out the switches, I bet he can't walk no more. But he got caught at the light, he got hit with the pipe, and we up in the skull some more. Play with the wrong niggas. We started spanking them niggas, they ain't playing no more. I got a short temper, paying for bodies, but really nobody don't know. Popping like you really body, let's go. I turn the out to a pack and I smoke.
Step one, you catch a eye, make sure you wet one. Step two, never turn right, till you left one. This nickname yoga, hot Glock stretch. Niggas say they steps, we couldn't pass when we test them. We be stepping. We be stepping. We stepping. We stepping on shit.
This bitch.
Chris Jones, what the fuck?
I ain't so, the rules boy ain't so. motherfucker, tell them trade ain't my cash. Shit, look, we bang too, what it is you won't do. Oh, you won't try, man, I'm gonna stomp you. And then flex on you bitches like big dump them. I don't dance out the bar, you gotta watch inside the party. She won't fuck, let me record music, make her angry, retarded slam. I ain't sound, it's wrong, my song. I ain't sound, magic girl got her own. My sound, a play a weak song. My sound, kill the song. My sound, root my sound. My sound.
Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Feel like I'm destined. I don't need no Smith and Weston now. Who are you testing? Fuck a scantron, here's your lesson now. Nothing and testing. Taking shots at all your breath, you know. Feel like I'm damaged. You fucking playing it. Right. You know you gon' make it right. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight.
2 minutes.
Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine. Spotlight, moonlight. Nigga, why you tripping? Get your Mariah. Shawty look good in the moonlight. All these pussy niggas so bad, mine.
Be Kilroy. Remember when I used to use your ills to hit the road, hit the O and make them big boy sales? Move. Remember when you had them green things made with vacuum seals, trying not to have them green things smell? Feds was on me. What you know about related through money? I don't know nothing. I just used to see them walk to the Coney. I fuck with bitches. My body count go from Persian to Cody. Any further questions, you can take that up with the lawyer. My nigga Finkel J Money. Primo Low Pride Jake Joe will tell you every day before school I sold a half bow. How you think I won best dress with no support? And had them paid lawyers coming in and out of court. Hey, Wando. ATO, ain't it a blessing? We made it out Kentucky after all that happened. After the pre-trials, after the status, after them impact statements, after the castle. Hey, JR, nigga. Ain't it a blessing? We made it out of Lansing after all that happened. That bitch, nigga. After Michigan State, after Hubbard, when our mans told on us, them bands they took from us. Joy Road, bitch, but the money long as 6 mile, brick mile. Knock your bitch down, pick her up, knock her back down, pull her tracks out. Yes, I slap girl. Yes, I slap dog. Yes, I slap loud. Yes, I slap a pussy nigga if he act out. Yes, I caught cases on the road with them killers, bro. Kill me if I snitch, cause if you snitch, I'm gon' kill you. Spent a lot of time on the yard with them gorillas, stood tall. Did I let niggas hold me? Quit being silly. I know for a fact your bitch pussy get wet for a nigga. Cause I do it better, plus I'm doing better than niggas. I'm at home when I'm down there in Lexington, nigga. About the king, they gon' drop you in, who next to you, nigga? Go get him, say it. Lil T, get ahead of them niggas. When you take off, don't look back and try to rescue them niggas. I got mans to make sure you get the rest of them niggas. Don't let them get the best of you, just get the revenue, nigga. So let me know what you can handle. Okay, come grab it. Here goes some extra, so if I'm busy, you can manage. Fiends happy, bling dancing, needing $60 salary. Get it there and back, tell the feds I need a challenge. My first offer was 30 years, not a day low. Nigga, I told them crackers holler at me when they sober on parole. I'm a felon, you think I ain't got that blower? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his head off his fucking shoulder. You hear me? Hit the rollie, start with the rollie on. What was our getaway car? Jag portfolio.
Just got some top from the stripper bitch. She from Kankakee, she just bought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me, this bitch a hoe. Met her at the store, you know how it go. She wanna smoke, so I bought some dope and took her to the O. Just got some top from the stripper bitch. She from Kankakee, just bought a Glock with a ruler clip. Boy, don't play with me, this bitch a hoe. Met her at the store, you know how it go. She wanna smoke, so I bought some dope and took her to the O. We in the car, she don't live that far. Say she left her person named Church. You know, wanna play it. We can go there first. I bust the U. Pull up to her spot. She live at a park. It's getting dark. My clock.
Shoot screen. No, I mean I did. I gave you guys, dude. The thing is today was just I didn't catch the down move like that. We caught the Amazon. That was really kind of enough. I mean, I told people yesterday I wasn't planning on going heavy today anyways because anyone tell me why? What did I say yesterday? No. It was no, it wasn't even, it's not even CPI. There was a resistance level on SPY. I just got this laptop, so let me fix my stuff. Don't ever get a Windows computer. Please don't. I wasted freaking $2,500 on a Windows computer because, dude, goodness trash. Like for those of you who have their chart set up like how I have it set up right now, just look at what I'm doing, okay? Just look how I'm changing it. This is how I like my stuff. I want to make it green. Should I make it a little fruity? Imagine having your charts like this. Okay, I'm just kidding. Look, I'm gonna make it back to normal. All right, so SPY. So start over from the beginning. Obviously, there are two ways to make your support and or resistance levels. One being, the number one is, well, how many of you guys are gonna take notes? So should I write stuff on the screen or no? Okay, cool. So two ways of creating support and resistance. That's just my two ways. Okay. There are other ways to do it, but this is just my two ways. So number one, using strictly 4 hours. And what's the other time frame for the elevator levels? Come on, guys. 4 hours and what? How do you not remember this? 4 hours and 30 minutes. Number two is going down the frameless. So you go from weekly, daily, 4 hours, hourly. So if you want to use method number one, that's how you make your elevator levels. Okay. Now, I had someone make. So how many of you guys know about Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci levels? So I had someone make. I had someone make the elevator levels. I don't know if you guys. I'm pretty sure some of you guys showed up to the last class, but for those of you that didn't show up, I had someone make my elevator levels and turn them into Fibonacci levels. So how many of you don't have that yet? How many of you want me to write that on here? Okay. So So you have 0, which is the top range, 0.125, which is a quarter. You have 0.25, top half, 0.375, quarter. You have 0.50, 0.60. You have shout out to whoever made this, by the way. Now, what does this allow you? Does this make it easier for you to make the elevator levels or no? Like, how is it easier for you to make the elevator levels with this? It saves you a lot of time, but you don't have to go click, 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 click. You just use the Fibonacci retracements and you just, align it with these numbers. Am I wrong or am I right? Oh yeah, you can adjust your fib. You can do whatever you want. But this is the number that it should be. Now, obviously, if you don't want to use this, right? If you don't want to use this, then you can just do it the normal way, making the nine levels, but it's up to you. Like, personally, in your opinion, what do you think I like to use them this way or the normal way? Like me personally, I like to use it the normal way because the reason being is I think that the reason why I'm so good at charting stuff is because I'm constantly doing it. Right? I'm constantly on the chart. Like I'm constantly making levels all the time. Now, you know how it's like, okay, when you make your levels on a daily, on a weekly, you don't need to make it anymore. Well, yeah, that's true. But I also feel like if you come in every day and you turn your Thinkorswim on and then you just delete all your drawings and then remake them every single day. Now, what that allows you to do is it allows you to remember, the way you should do things, and it becomes a second nature to you to find support and resistance, and it'll make you a lot better instead of just, like it can be fucking tedious to do this, but the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. Because, for example, let's say you start making resistance and support levels on the weekly and on the daily, and you just leave it on there for like a month or two, you might forget, right? But if you continue to do it every day, you can get better by finding better levels. Does that make sense? Like what you couldn't find a month ago, now that you're doing it every single day, you're like, wow, now I can actually pinpoint the right level. So it's up to you. I like to do it all every fucking day. And even when I'm doing classes like this, I'm like redoing my level. So I'm literally practicing as I'm teaching you. You know what I mean? Who still needs this? Can I delete it? Good. Gucci, cool. Somebody told Doja Cat. I'm trying to indulge in that. All right. So SPY, let's go off to the 4-hour levels. So we're gonna look back how many months? About 3. So like here, this is fine. Find the top, find the bottom, find the half. Now, at what point do I switch to 30 minutes? Answer. At what point do I switch to 30 minutes? Who knows? Who remembers? After I make the 9. So how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I start from the top, made a bottom one, made a middle one, made a midpoint, and I'm gonna make how many more? 4 more. So one in between here, one in between here, one in between here, one in between here. You'll always find, crazy part is you'll always find a level in exactly in the middle. Like this one right here, where's the level at? Right there. Even though it's not testing right here, I'm gonna explain it after this. Because other than looking at these, these levels as single point digits, what you have to look at them as are two different areas, aka aka a zone, right? That's how you gotta look at it. You can't, for example, you can't look at support and resistance as singular numbers anymore. You have to look at support and resistance as two numbers. So if you have a support at 100, then you have to look at that support as the numbers between 100 and 99, for example. Does that make sense? Because you're not always going to have the resistance and support levels aren't always going to touch exactly to that number. Like you're not going to get, if there was a support last week at 102.22, it's not going to hit 102.22 today. It might be at like 102 or 101.85. As long as it's in between two numbers, that's an area, it's an area that now you have to look for and you have to understand instead of just one number. Okay, so now I have my 9. So now I'm going to make my noise levels, okay? What is my noise level? What does that mean? So noise levels are numbers that, are levels that are in between this 9 that you still need to make, right? It's anything, obviously anything below the 4 hours that you still need to make. And the reason why I consider it noise levels is because mostly these numbers are used as my profit targets, right? Now, how is it that I can use these 9 numbers as my profit targets and they hit? Well, it's because I'm only going back 3 months. So eventually, right, as the stock goes up or down, I'm going to fucking change it eventually, right? So these numbers are literally my main profit targets for my next 10, 12 trades on this specific name. Like, for example, if we break above tomorrow, my next profit target is going to be like 428 for a swing or something. Okay. Now, for certain names, these 9 numbers, right? Crazy enough, the distance between each of these numbers might be within its ATR. That's the crazy part, right? In this specific case, no, but maybe if we were to make these 9 levels on Apple or something, they will most likely be within its ATR. But we're gonna start making our noise levels now. We're gonna do it on 30 minutes. Now, am I gonna make noise levels all across the chart? Yes or no? No, right? Because the reason why we zoom into the 30 minutes is because we're only gonna focus on what's happening now, right? Because if I start making levels on the bottom of the chart, what am I doing? 1, it's not relevant to the current price. 2, it's never gonna come back. It's not gonna come back down to fucking 350. It's 320. Like, we're not gonna go to 320 tomorrow. It's literally useless for the time being. Like, you're just wasting your time. That's the only reason why we don't make noise levels outside of its 30-minute time frame. You guys understand how I'm making this, right? So no, it's just normal support and normal resistance. So I'm just, 1, 2, 3, easy. How many of you still do your support and resistance the other way, where it's like you start off on the weekly and then you move on, you move down? It's up to you, whatever you like. I think this way is easier and it allows you to save a lot more time charting and allows you to just not spend too much time on the chart, even though it's not a bad thing. But if you're gonna spend a lot of time on charts, you shouldn't spend too much time charting, but you should spend a lot more time doing what? Backtesting. Backtesting. So push this down. What did I just say? So the time you spend on the charts outside of market hours should be focused on backtesting. What does backtesting allow you to do? So backtesting allows you to see whether the strategy you're using works, and it allows you to practice on your execution. How hold on. Allows you to practice from a scale of 1 through 10. When it comes to execution, how important do you think it is? Like, what do I mean by that? You know, I'm gonna show you guys what backtesting is, but I want you guys to answer this first. Like, what does execution mean? What is the definition of execution to you guys? So this is my personal answer, okay? Execution is what? Being able to identify entry levels. No. Being able to identify areas of entry and entering at said area. That's just one definition. Can you tell me another definition? Being able to manage risk. Being able to hold your trades and follow your plan. I was gonna say follow your initial plan, but one thing that I want to tell you is that, so here, sometimes, right? Sometimes you're gonna have an initial plan in mind. But it's not always going to work the way you intended it to, right? Now, in these situations, you have to learn, and Anthony's correct, you have to learn to adapt to what is currently going on. So what kind of situation am I talking about? So like, if you're trying to enter a trade and it's, like for example, let's do this. Let's make a fucking example. So let's say, you have a resistance right there and you're trying to enter a trade at this resistance breakout. Now, let's say it breaks above and then it comes back down, right? Now, number one, you must identify where you are going to sell. So where's your stop loss? So where's your stop loss? So with stop losses, how many of you guys remember how many ways do I set a stop loss? I'm just going to show you 2 ways. So first way is using the 9 or 21 EMA as your stop. That's why do I say 9 and 21 is because it's the one I use, but you can always use a different one, whatever you're using. Second way is to use what? Percentage. Here. Third way is to use previous support. Now, what do you think the problem is? You know, if you're going to use the previous support as your stop loss, what do you think the problem is with that? So the previous support might be a little far out, right? The previous support might be a little too far out, and you might end up having to hold a negative 30%, a negative 35%. Now, here is the answer to a question that everybody has a fucking problem with, which is, how do you determine when to bag hold a trade? Am I right? Sometimes you get into a trade and you're like, bro, fuck, I'm down 25%, I'm down 30%. Oh, and then most of the time, right, you'll sell and then it comes right back up. So it's like, bro, how do you figure out when to back? Because sometimes you'll end up bag holding and it's not the right time to bag hold. Meaning at that time, you end up bag holding and you end up losing everything. Right? So when is the right time to bag hold? So I'm gonna answer that. And then I'm gonna continue with execution, right? So you guys already wrote this down right here. I'm gonna delete this. When is it the right time to bag hold? So 1, you must identify the current market sentiment. Now, when I say current, do I mean at that exact moment or just the day sentiment? I mean the day sentiment, okay? 2, once you've identified the current market sentiment, right, you want to identify the current trend of the stock on the hourly. Don't ask me why I say hourly, because I've already done this so many times. I figured that hourly is the best to look at. So you identify the current trend on the stock on the hourly. So if the hourly says or shows you that, you know, for example, if you're looking at an hourly chart and, you know, we're right here, doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this now, right? And then let's say this was your entry right here at that red line, and now you're holding a trade right here. And now it's below your entry and you're holding it, right? This is how it looks like on the hourly, let's say. So if you've identified that this is the current trend on the hourly, what do you think the best course of action is for you to do? It looks like a 2, but it's a 1. So you can do one or two things. You can hold your trade and see if we bounce here, or you can get out. But there is one thing that you must do, and if you can't do this, then it's okay. But once it does bounce here, right? You might be down God knows how much percentage wise, but what you must do in this situation is add to your position. Okay, you add to your position so that once we come back halfway up, you've already made back all that you've lost here. So that when we do come back up to your entry, you'll be up instead of break even. Why don't we use the 1 hour for frame for entry? Because it's just, there's no, it's not a smart way to trade because you're gonna miss out on moves. Now, yes, of course, this shit can backfire any day. And here's the thing: there's no surefire way to trade, right? There is no perfect way to trade because if there was, then everybody would be profitable. Does that make sense? If the success rate for trading is like 90%, people fail. So this isn't a sure thing, but every single advantage counts, right? If you have an edge to trading, or if you have multiple edges, it's bro, it's a good thing. This is a game of probability, just like Aralda says, this is a game of probability. So you need, if you can manage to tip the probability your way to where it's more favorable for you, then you got to take it. And the one thing that holds people back with trading is what? What is the number one thing? Fear. Fear is what holds people back, right? Now, I'm gonna say this again. I've said this a million times. If you, right, if fear gets in your way and holds you back, then it's always gonna hold you back, and it'll be your downfall. Period. Fear is something you have to get over, meaning you have to understand that this game is a game of risk, and if you don't like to risk, then it's not for you. If you can't seem to get over your fears and you can't seem to find confidence, then you're not gonna make it. Now, how do you find confidence? First, like I said, you gotta back test, and once you find that strategy, it takes time, and a lot of people don't like to wait because everyone, we're so, trading is all about instant gratification, and everyone is so accustomed to that. So everyone's like, I want this now. I want this now, now. Instead of looking at the long term of this, right? They want to look at the short term, and that's where you're going to end up failing. And that's the reason why people fail. So if you can't get over your fears, then, it's kind of like you're shit out of luck, because there are how many of you guys here, you think you've already overcome your fear of trading, and, your problem now lies within, the technical issues, anything other than fear. And that means you're in a good position, because everything else other than fear is going to be, it's going to be it's going to be easy to fix. Fear is going to be the number one thing that holds people back, because in order to fix that, you have to develop some type of numbness to this game. And in order, and this is the sad part, that for a lot of people, in order to experience that numbness and to finally get to that point, you have to lose a lot. And that's just it, bro. Like that's it. There's nothing else. It's not the answer that you're looking for. But if I have to be the one that tells you this, then so be it. Because everyone else, sometimes they'll tell you like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. Yeah, you can fucking do it, but bro, you gotta lose. And that's the crazy part. Now, when is it the right time to back hold? Obviously, identify the current market sentiment, identify the current trend of the stock on the hourly. So with this example, right, if it looks like it's gonna bounce, then you use that and you go with it, right? That's one way to figure out whether it's the right time to bag hold. Another way can be, if it's coming up to your moving average and you expect it to bounce on the moving average, or if you're looking at your moving averages and your stochastic, and then it's crossing up and it looks like the momentum is going to shift, then that might be a good reason to bag hold. But what is not a good reason to bag hold? Rhymes with opium. Opium is not a good reason to bag hold. You cannot hope for the trade to come back to reality. I mean, to come back to your reality. So execution is important. Okay, nothing. Execution, right? Sometimes, yeah, you're gonna have an initial plan in mind, but it's not always gonna work the way you want it to. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes you're gonna enter at this breakout and it's gonna pull back on you, right? So if your stop loss is right here and it pulls back and it creates some type of bull flag, meaning within the next however many hours or minutes, you're gonna have to learn how to wait. Right? Sometimes people don't know how to wait for their position to play out. And if you entered here at the top, then that's okay, because if it breaks out, then you can enter with more as it breaks out, but you gotta wait and you gotta learn how to execute this properly. So with this, and this, what I'm talking about is being able to be patient for your trade to play out. Does that make sense? Try to teach you guys how to back test now, for a little bit. I don't use time in sales. How many guys use, like, I don't use that. I don't think I need to use that. There's no reason. There's no reason for me to use something that I don't even like using. So look, what did I just do? I just clicked on demand. So what does on demand do? So on demand, this feature, what Thinkorswim gives you, it gives you fake money. It gives you like 100K or something, right? So now what you can do is someone name a stock for me to look at. Tesla. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick a date. I'm gonna pick a random date in the past. So let's go to 2021. Let's go to 2020. Let's go to September 15th. Let's go to my birthday. September 15th, 2020. Anyone want me to go to a specific time, or is this fine with you guys? Now, after you find okay, 9:30. I'm in Eastern time, so I think I'm fine. Right? Is this 9:30? Okay, I'm gonna go 9:30. So 2020, September 2020, 9, let's go 09. Here, we'll do 9:28. So 2 minutes before the market opens. So now what it's gonna do is it's gonna go back all the way to September 15th. This is where we are. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out the price action. Let's put in the 4 hours real quick. See what's happening here. So this is what I mean by back testing, okay? So remember, these are noise levels, right? So noise levels can be used as your target for scalps, or you don't use them at all and you just let it, you just let it be there and just use the elevator levels as your target. Usually you want to use the elevator levels as your target for swings. So now we're waiting for the market to open. Well, someone identify what you see in the past and how we can trade this day. I'm going to look at your responses right now. So we're going to wait for the breakout of 440, right? 439.96. And where is our first profit target going to be? 453. Okay, so let's wait for the market open. There's the market open. So look at the open, we dipped down right here. And then now we're going to trade the breakout of this, right? So as soon as we break out, that's when you enter the trade. So this is something like, something that you might want to trade at the open, but it's up to you whether, you want to risk trading the open or you want to wait for it to fully break out. Now, it's hard to trade breakouts because it's hard to explain what candles you use to enter the trade. Does that make sense? So it depends on you. So what you can do is you can move to the 1 minute time frame and you can wait for a full candle to fully open and close above this level right here, right? You can do that, or you can enter as soon as the 5 minute pierces through this level. Now, the most crucial part of entering a trade is how it's reacting to the previous resistance levels, right? If you're getting too many rejections, especially at the open, then you have to be a little more careful, right? Like that. You have to be a little more careful about entering the trade. And usually if you get too much rejection, it'll come back down a little bit before it pushes up. But what that gives you is that gives you time to enter it properly, right? So what you can do is now that it's doing this, right? You can make little trend lines on the chart that'll give you a little bit of room of where to enter. So for example, for here, this is now a downtrending resistance, right? Boom, this is a downtrending resistance. Now what you're waiting for is for this to break. So once we're in this area, it doesn't mean enter. It means that the bulls are, the bulls still remain in control. But once we come back up the second time, that's when I'll enter the trade. What do you guys think is going to happen this specific day? Now you can play around, and remember, guys, you can play around with your chart. Like you can literally play around with your chart a lot. Like you can even do this, because now it gives you an idea of an uptrending support and a downtrending resistance. And in this area, this is our consolidation / squeeze area, right? So that we can, see where it's going to go. But where is our entry for puts, for example? We don't even have an entry for puts. So right here, we're going to look to the left right there. We're going to find the resistance levels here. So this is going to be my entry for puts right there. So this resistance level, and this resistance level. So somewhere over there, that's my entry for puts. So if we break 429, we're gonna enter puts. If it breaks, yeah, 420. If it breaks down 429.80, somewhere around here. The fuck? Saw that. And no, that doesn't mean enter the trade. Like, how many of you guys have seen that type of wick before? Damn, Tony, how do you remember this day? This is crazy. This is our level, guys, 429.58. So once we're a little bit below that, we'll enter our puts. Puts. Here, push. Put. I think I'm bullish, but we'll see what happens. I don't even remember what happened this day. Who thinks we're bearish? Who thinks we're bullish? Did I really say that, Tony? You remember that day? Bullish. Oh, I think I remember now. Just say I remember. I remember. Me llamo Kevin. Me gusta jugar con mi computadora. I ran out of buying power for my on-demand feature, so gonna have to mentally trade this on my end. But you guys can enter your trade. Remember, we're not even fucking entering this until here anyways. Do you guys want me to fast forward this? Or you wanna watch this with me? Watch the sunrise on the other side. It's better, it's kind of better to watch because you want to see how it plays out. Okay, look, that's a big fucking wick, bro. That's bullish. That's bullish. Me llamo Kevin. Me gusta jugar con las tetas. Oh yeah, my bad. Let me pause it real quick. Pause. I'm put the moving averages on for you guys. My bad. My bad, G. FREE. There you go. Play it again. All right, so I see two wicks, right? I see two bullish wicks. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna enter at the breakout of this triangle instead of waiting for 439. Bullish because I see more buying pressure come in. Like this means that there's more buying pressure. So it's before that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till here to figure out if there's a lot of buying pressure coming in. But if I see two wicks like this is how you got to look at it, right? Right here, this area, it's all buyers. Just think of this area as buyers. Once you see those two wicks next to each other like that, that's all buyers. So just wait. Just think of this area as buyers. Boom, boom, boom. Looking to the left. Okay, look, one thing that you got to understand too, when you see something like this, right? This type of pattern, when you have an uptrending support versus a stagnant resistance, right? Who do you think is stronger? Buyers. Because the sellers aren't really doing any damage, right? Because the price remains the same on the top side, but the bottom side, you're creating higher, what? Higher lows. So you have a higher low here, and you have a higher low there. Boom, enter the trade right here. Just like that. This time I'd enter this trade. Now, what you can do is you can go light right here, and then once it breaks above today's high, you double it. Like right there, you double it. Now you hold. Now you hold. It's literally pushing my bro, it's pushing my lineup. That's funny as hell. Now we hold. Where's our TP? Where's the toilet paper? Our TP's where, guys? Next resistance, which is, oh shit, what was that resistance level at? I deleted it. Or it was 450. Yeah, it was right here. The hell? Hold on. Yeah, it was right there. That's a resistance level. And then another one on top of that is here, right here, about 456-ish there. And then the next one, maybe right there. Damn, heard that? Do you guys think we're gonna pull back? Should I fast forward? But do you guys understand the point of back testing? Nah, this is how you back test. Like you understood how I analyzed the move, the price action, blah blah blah. I'm gonna fast forward it. 449 is our target. Okay, look, we pulled back, but we entered here. Now this right now, this is where it gets fucking tricky. Okay. Now, at this point, people will usually have been like, bro, I should have sold. I should have sold at the top. I should have done this. I should have done that. And as the price goes down, what they'll usually do is what? They'll panic sell. Exactly. But remember, we're not bearish until we come back down here. And if we enter here, right? And if we enter here, no, we entered right here. So we're kind of right where we entered. So you're not really in a slump. Like you're not in a slump. You're not gonna get stopped out yet. Like this isn't a stop, right? Your stop shouldn't be if you entered right here, then your stop shouldn't be until like down here. So this is where I would make my stop. Because once we come back down here, this means that the buyers are losing control. Does that make sense? Like right there, right? So once we get down there, that's when you got to think about selling the stock. This is getting interesting. I literally forgot what happened this day. Right here, you'll be down like fucking 15%. No, I'm not selling. Hasn't closed. Hasn't closed below here. at all. This is like a 15%. This was like a 15-20% downturn. I wait for the close for me to enter the trade, for me to exit the trade. I'll exit somewhere here when it closes somewhere here. As long as it's open, as long as the candle is still open, orders are still coming in. Yeah, I would be antsy too, trust me. Everyone would. But now it's just a matter of, can you compose yourself during this trade? Now, look, we're coming back up here. What do you think I'll do when it comes back up here? I'm gonna double down on my trade. Once we come back up here, I'm doubling down. And I'm not even capping either. How many of you guys have seen me do this? No, I wouldn't sell anything. So look, maybe, right? Maybe I would have trimmed right here, but if my target was 450, I usually stick to my target. But sometimes I'll probably trim on the way up and still have contracts, and I'll re-enter right here. So just keep watching. See what happens. And honestly, right, I probably looked at this name. I probably looked at this before I traded it. So like, I already have, like, at the current time, I'm already kind of having like a bias of where it's gonna go. I'm not recording this because I just got this laptop today and it didn't let me record this one. So if anyone's recording this, then share it. Does it say recording? Is it recording? Where does it say that? Top left. Where? Where? Oh, it is being recorded. I'm still not gonna give it to you. So look, this is one of those days where you have to be patient for your trade to play out, okay? Like, I'm teaching you how to be patient right now. And at this time, I'll probably go to the bathroom, take my shit, like go eat, go watch something, go watch like a Netflix series real quick or something, and just wait. Thirsty for these profits. All right, look, it's coming up. Let's go. All right, I'll fast forward. Remember what my stop loss is. Harry Wing would have had a play. Bitch, this is a play. Fucking dick riders. Bro, we're going up. We're going up. Stupid. We're going up. I mean, look, even if it does stop out, can't you re-enter your trade? Or did you full port on this trade and run out of buying power? Just because you stop out of a trade doesn't mean that you don't re-enter the trade as the volume comes back in and as the candle starts breaking out. Who is this kid? Someone said I'm 5'1".
Yeah, right.
Like, really? This guy probably has a shrimp dick.
I didn't lose that.
Boot his ass. No, I'm not gonna boot him. He needs this. He needs this lesson. That's why he's here. He needs the sauce. Let's see if we end up hitting our target. This was not a. This is like too much for the day. Like, this is too much. Like, I probably wouldn't even want to trade this day. I think we're still gonna come back up. Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna come back up. It's just, it's the motion of it, like the motion of it, the wavy motion is just, it's almost predictable it's gonna come back up. I bet you it comes back up before close. Here, I'll pick another name. We'll pick another name. Any money? Any money? Anybody? Any other name you want me to look at and trade? Someone, okay, we'll pick shop. Someone pick a date on shop. Let's pick sometime during this year. Sometime during this year, after the split. One 609. You guys want 609? We'll do 609. All right, 609 shop. $609. What is that, June or July? June 9th, 09/30/00. All right, let's analyze this. After showing you this back test, I'm going to show you guys how I flipped my account. Why is it showing this? Okay, no, so I'll pick another name. Let's do Amazon. You guys want to do Amazon 609? Or no? Let's do Amazon 609. Same date. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. All right, this is perfect right here. So now what we have is the support right here getting broken. Okay. Now, one thing that you guys see within this period of time, what is this? considered. So this is a range on Amazon, right? So top range is going to be around here, 127. Bottom range is 120. So it's been trading between 120 and 127 for like a week. So now it's finally broken it pre-market. Okay. Now, where is our target? Like, what do you guys think is going to happen to Amazon this day? So looking at the 4 hours, right? You see that it has a support here. So now that you have two supports right next to each other, right, that are this tight, what does this become? This becomes another zone. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade below this zone. So anything below this zone, we're going to buy, and we're going to buy puts. Where's our target? So now you got to look for, you know, more support and more resistance levels that's happened in the past. So somewhere about right here. So we're going to use this. And then we're going to use that. So we're going to use those two levels as our zone for our profit targets. So look, on the 30-minute, this is what we're hoping for this to happen. Okay, this drop right here. So you have a top zone, you have an entry zone, you have an exit zone. Why puts? Because we just broke the high. We just broke this crucial support. We're breaking this crucial support and we're falling out of the range. So technically there hasn't been a move that was made yet. Now we can always bounce, obviously, but for us to trade this bounce, what I usually wait for, I usually wait for the stochastics. I mean, the moving averages to cross over like this. So once it crosses over, once we cross over the top, that's when I'll enter our calls. And also, if you focus on this, you can see that there's a trend going down this way, like that. So this is the area of value that we're looking for if we're going to buy calls. But right now, it looks better for us to go puts. Does that make sense? Now I'm not gonna keep it running like earlier. So I'm gonna fast forward it for you guys. Now, what you also want to look for is what's happening within the chart on the hourly, on the 4 hours, or the daily. So on the hourly, what do you see here? What is significant about the hourly? What just happened on the 4 hour? My bad, on the 4 hour. There's been a shift in direction, right? Right there. So that kind of helps you have an idea of, okay, well, the bulls might not be here anymore. The sellers might be the ones that are jumping in and in control of the day. And also you have these wicks rejecting the moving average. So every time it rejects the moving average, you get a down move. Now, looking at the 15 minutes, right? Just wait to see what the candlesticks form. So other than using your indicators, right? You want to strictly focus on the price action that's happening right before you. Because look, this is one thing that you got to understand too, right? So this level right here has been held for so long. Okay. Look at how many times this support was held in the, and for that week. So what does that tell you about this area, 120? Who comes in this area? Buyers come in this area, right? So now that you have a candlestick breaking down this specific support, so understand that when you look at candles, right, you're looking at supply and demand. So when you're focusing on supply and focusing on demand, you can see that the supply is exceeding the demand, obviously, right? So now what you need what should be going through your head is the fact that the buyers might no longer be here anymore, right? You might have sellers coming in now. Obviously, you're gonna have, you're gonna have a lot of buying pressure coming in the zone. But in terms of direction and what's gonna happen, because remember, and here's the thing too. How many of you guys usually trade the first 5 to 30 minutes or the first hour? You do, right? And sometimes you catch a move the first hour and you miss out on the whole move that happens within the course of 6 hours. Does that sound familiar? Like today or yesterday, like every single time. Because for me, I finished within the first hour and I don't catch the whole fucking move. Because so many things can happen between the first hour and the 6th hour that if you're looking at something that's happening within the first hour, you might not, you might not be right in terms of, okay, well, I think the trend is ending here, so I'm going to exit. Because there's a lot of things that can happen. Any questions so far? Where are we at? All right, so look, now we're going to see how we react to this. So look, the moving averages can also be treated as a resistance and or support. And as you can see, every single fucking time it fucking tests, it comes back down. So I don't solely use moving averages as a means to enter my trade, but it can help. It's on demand free, yes. So look, what did it do to the moving average here? How did it react to that? So not only is it rejecting the moving average, but there is also a support right over here, right there. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to make it red. So right there, this red right here, that's a support that was created. Is this after hours or pre-market? Which one is it? Or is it both? Right there. That's both. So you have a support that was made, right? A support level that was made pre-market and after hours. So now it's rejecting the pre-market and after hours support and also rejecting the moving average. Okay, can I fast forward now? So where's my entry for puts? My entry for puts is this right here. Remember that. Below this, this is the range, but my entry for puts is right here, below 119.57. Make sense? Let's look at how the daily looks real quick. Okay, we're right there. Yeah. Oh, damn. What the hell? Am I tripping? $15 minutes. I'm gonna fast forward. Nice rejection here. All right, look, we came all the way back down here. All the way back up. This is like the type of price action that you see that shows you why we lose or why a lot of people lose. Like how you get caught in between these moves. Like how many of you have been caught in between moves like this? So the reason why a lot of people get caught in between moves like this is because you're not confident in the direction that it's going to go. Does that make sense? You have to have the confidence in terms of what direction it's going to go. Yeah, you can scalp this obviously, but trust me, it looks like you can scalp this, but as you're watching this in real time, it's not easy to scalp this. because we're fast forwarding it, but you don't know how long it took for this candle to come back up here. Even though it's a 5-minute candle, this could have happened in fucking 20 seconds. But, right, you need to have the confidence of in terms of, okay, well, I'm bearish for today because so and so and so and so. So my analysis for this day is that we're bearish because we continue to reject. So look, we came all the way back down for us to come back up and for us to get rejected again at this pre-market support. And remember, this support level right here, this blue one, is it a strong support or is it a weak support? No, this is a strong support because look at how many times it tested in the past. That's why we're getting so much volatility around these levels. Does that make sense? But my outlook is bearish for this day. And so once we come back down here and we have a candle close on the minute or on the 5-minute, that's when I'll enter. Usually, right, when I enter my trades, right, usually I like to see retests of my level before entering. But here's the thing. The way you enter trades, it can be like, how many of you agree that it depends on the situation that's happening in front of you? Like, I can't just tell you a specific way to enter a trade because every situation that you come across every single day, it's different. Like, you're going to get different types of candlesticks. You're going to get different types of price action that happened before you. And for you to just say that one way to enter is the correct way to enter, you're in the wrong. So it's not that there's one single strategy. It's just there's different ways to enter, right? There is no strategy to entering a trade. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a strategy leading up to that trade, but all entering a trade is executing, and that's it. Boom, 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 boom. So see how it keeps rejecting. So now it went from rejecting 121 to now rejecting 120. Now, is this a good sign for bears? Yes or no? Because now we rejected the strongest support that it had for the week. Another way to chart when you're looking at things is you can always like make your own little patterns in the meantime, to kind of help you figure out whether this is a breakout of a pattern or not. Whatever, it depends on you. No, that's not a bull flag, bro. Hell no. And yeah, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. Okay, look. Now we broke this triangle, right? Pennant. Ace, pennant, not peanuts. Said peanuts. Every single example I'm looking at is like a slow burn before the flush or before the move. I'm trying to show you guys how I flip my account and I'm getting tired. All right, right there. So this looks fucking great. So now we're getting ready to enter our trade, right? So within this and within the next skip, you should probably look to enter the trade. That's a good one. Holy hell. Go down already, bro. Jesus, about time. How many of you guys have been in a position where you're holding for like 2 hours and then you're just staring at it? And then when it finally starts breaking, you're like, yes, finally, 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 finally. Now, someone said theta burn. Okay, theta burn depends on the contract that you buy. Agreed? If you buy fucking $3, $4, $5 out of the money, yeah, you're fucked. But usually, you always want to buy at the money or in the money. If I'm buying 100 contracts or something, I'm buying in the money. Oh, this is before CPI release? I didn't know that. What was our target? Now, okay, one thing too. One thing that I want to tell you too. When you get a move towards the end of the day, can you use that? Do you guys think we're gonna hit one? I think we're gonna hit 116. Do you guys think that you can use that as a swing? Like, for example, can I use this as a swing? Depends on you. Slow burn. There you go. There you go. Dude, that's a print right there. That's a fucking print. Let's figure out what's gonna happen the next day. I think we come back. Okay, look. So now we broke. So we broke below this range right here. And now we're here. But one thing that one last thing I'm going to teach you about this specific form candlestick right here is that there is no clear support yet. Does that make sense? What I mean by that? We don't have a clear support until here or here, somewhere about here. Is this when we fucking fell back down to 105? This is when we fell back down to 105. This was that week. Bro, this is when we bought Amazon puts and we swung it. Oh shit, this is that time. I'm fucking stupid. I didn't even know that. Look, let's look at the next 2 days that shit fell. That Friday it fell. Here, let's go to the Friday, the day after. See? Did we fall? Oh wait. What day were we looking at? We were looking at the 9th. My bad. No, so the next day was the 10th. So the 10th, did we fall on the 10th? Yeah, we fell on the 10th. This day. This is what we looked at the day before. Earlier, and this is the next day. Wow, that's fucking nuts. That moving average on the hourly really helped. Fucking, what's that fucker's name that said moving averages are whack? We don't use moving averages. We don't like it. We don't like it. It's lagging. Half flat. Half flat. Half flat. Yeah, beat it, nerd. All right, let's go over count flip. Fuck, should I go over? Damn, bro, we're gonna have a long ass fucking class right now. Who's down? Give me like a fucking. I'll show you guys how I flip my account. We'll make a watch list after. Cool. All right. I'm gonna show you guys how I doubled my 100K account in 6 days, almost doubled. Hopefully tomorrow we have a fucking sick day, but I don't want to jinx myself. And then I'll make a watch list with you guys. Give me about 5 minutes, okay? Let me use the bathroom. Here, I'll probably post it for you guys. We'll see. Bye. All right. Give me. How long have you been on here for? Anyone know? Definitely not fucking 30 minutes. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. Damn, you guys are lucky I'm doing this, bro. I swear to God. 11, 10, 9, 8. God's continue. 805. Follow Guru Leaks. Kevin is a goat. Oh, thanks. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna remove him, even though he called me a goat. All right, guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes, okay? Stay right here. Don't fucking leave, or else. I grew up my account 41% with the Fibonacci. How many guys wrote down the Fibonacci levels that I showed you earlier? Nice. Be back. I'm back. I am back. All right. Let's go over some stuff. Dude, I'm thinking about I was trying to make my I was trying to do like I can't even say it. I'm gonna make this thing where it's like an out like I want to make my own little like auto trader thing. I want to try that out. I want to see how that works out. But we'll see. I don't even know how that works. Like I was just like whenever I enter a trade, it'll whatever trade it is, it'll just automatically make that trade on the auto trader. Yeah, Brett does it. I don't know how he does that, but I know he does that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, who's ready? So, how many of you guys have flipped an account before? Like 100%. And if you have, how much did you use? What did you start with? Now, okay. And you know how people always say, if you can't flip 1,000, you can't flip 100. You know how people say that shit? It's mostly true, but there's a but coming. But, bro, people who say that shit most of the time probably have never even flipped 100. Am I fucking right? Like, how many of you hear that shit and you're like, bro, that's fucking cap? Because if I use 100,000 compared to 1,000, I can do so much fucking more. So look, it is true. Like, if you can't flip 1,000, then you maybe can't flip 100. But understand that if you do have 100, you can do so much more. You have a lot of room for error. But it is okay. Look, it is bigger money and bigger losses. But who is fucking stupid enough to go risk 100K on a trade? Like, use your brain, right? Like, who's stupid enough to even use 50K on a trade? So you cannot really say that, oh, bigger account, bigger losses. But what you do have is more room for better trades, right? Am I right or am I wrong? So that, I mean, I've said, and I'm not even fucking lying to you. I've said that before. I was one of those people that are like, yo, if you can't flip 1,000, you can't flip 100. But after flipping 100 multiple fucking times, I realized that, bro, it's a lot easier to do. Now, it's only easier to do if you already know what you're doing. That's where, that's where the but is. That's where the but came in. If you already know what you're doing, it's a lot harder for you to use 1,000 versus 100,000. Because if you already know what you're doing, then you should already know that the market will do whatever it wants to do whenever it wants to do that. So if you eat, no matter how good you are, you can get stuck in, in a day or 2, 3, or in a whole week of just shitty price action. And whose fault is that if you cannot flip your $1,000 account? But if you get stuck in shitty fucking price action using $100,000 account, then don't you have a lot more room for error? You have a lot more room to begin to just in general, right? Like, if you size correctly, if you know how to size correctly, then you can get past that week of shitty price action. But if you're using 1,000, you're only limited to so many trades, right? So like let's say this, right? Let's say 1,000, you're using 1,000, and then how many trades do you think you can make with $1,000 realistically? I'll say like 8. 5 to 8 if you really want to get it. If you really want to get technical with it, you can make 5 to 8 trades. If you use $100 per trade, $200 per trade, whatever. Now, what if, you know, there's 8 days of just straight fucking shitty price action? Where do you think your fucking account's gonna be? And that's considering if you trade every day. Your account's gonna be at fucking zero. You're gonna get smacked. But if you use 100,000 and you size correctly, right? You use fucking, let's say you use 10,000 per trade, you use 5,000 per trade, and you use a 25% stop loss, and there's a slump period where in 8 trades nothing happens, you're not gonna really lose a lot. Why? Because here's the thing: the psychology behind using $1,000 is a lot different than the psychology using 100,000. And some people will say that that's cap, but reality, that's true. Because if you're using 1,000 and you're already down 800, you're gonna have that. You know, you're going to have this fight or flight reaction where you're just gonna full port because you're like, fuck this shit. Like, I only have $200 left, right? But if you use 100,000 and you're down 15K for the week, you're not gonna be like, fuck it, I'm gonna use fucking the whole, I'm gonna risk the whole thing. So what I'm saying is, when you have $100,000, you're more likely to trade correctly. You're more likely to treat it. You're more likely to, not be stupid with it. Does that make sense? Like, you're more likely to just trade the right way, because now you're like, okay, look, I have this much money, I don't want to lose this, and I want to flip it. And you're more likely to have better management, and you're more likely to execute better trades, because the more money you have, the more confident you'll be. Luigi says, this makes no sense. You lose the same percent if you're sizing the same percent on 1,000 or 100,000. Yeah, that's true. But the psychology of using 1,000, the mentality is different when you're using these two numbers. Does that make sense? Because if you're using less, if you're using $1,000, you're limited to specific trades. You cannot go buy Amazon the right way. Like, yes, it's different. I mean, yes, it's the same in terms of if you lose 50%, you lose 50%. But you're not gonna lose 50% on a $100,000 account, because you're not gonna have that shitty ass contract that you're gonna end up buying. You're not gonna end up, you cannot make fucking 7 different trades in one day with $1,000. The reason why people say you can't flip 1,000, if you can't flip 1,000, you can't flip 100. That saying is just to help people realize that money doesn't really matter, that it's important that you try to grow your account. That's the only reason why people fucking say that shit. But if you really want to get technical and fucking, say, oh, which is better to use, then it's everyone's gonna fucking say 100,000, bro. Like, it's, you guys get what I'm, can I move on from that? You guys understand? Now, obviously 10,000 too is better than 1,000. The fuck? So what do you think the right way to do this is? Is it better to just use 1,000, or is it better for you to save more money and use more? You got to stack up. And I think that $5,000 is the best way to start. Obviously, we're still going to do $1,000 challenge, but we're going to be limited to the trades. We're going to make some shitty ass fucking trades, and that's that, until we get to a certain number, like 5 or 10. If we get to that number. One thing about me is okay, patience is key, but I like to grow my account in the specific amount of time. And I'm not saying I'm giving myself 5 days to flip it, but the way I trade, it's like I take a lot of risky trades because I like to, and those types of trades will allow me to get bigger returns. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not the type to use 1,000 and use fucking $25 per trade. Like, I cannot sit around and do that. How many of you guys agree with me? And it depends on the type of risk tolerance that you have, too. Like everyone here has a different type of everyone here has different risk tolerances, so you know, it just depends. All right, let's get started. So I was just on the man earlier showing you guys how to trade on the man and stuff. Let's get off that. So what do you guys think the key to growing an account is? I just want an answer from those that have actually grown accounts. Can you get my soda? Send it in the fridge real quick. I'm waiting for you guys' answers. Compound, utility. Okay, how many of you agree that you're more likely to use a higher percentage of your account to trade with on $1,000 account versus $100,000 account, or versus a $10,000 account? Because the way we view money, right? $1,000 at the end of the day is just $1,000. And then if you're used to seeing people make $25,000, $30,000, understand that you're more inclined to end up risking more, regardless of what anybody fucking tells you. Okay, and this too, this is the reality of things. Look, it's like, yeah, okay, well, if you have 1,000 and you make $50 a day and fucking and I'm guilty of telling you and telling people this too. That okay, if you make $50 a day, you wait fucking a year or 6 months, you'll be up 25,000. But in reality, nobody wants to make fucking $25 a day. Am I right? Like nobody wants to fucking make that. So how do we fix that problem? Either you use more money or you risk more. But what is the downside to that? What might possibly happen? You might blow your shit up. And you have to accept that. Now, you also need to be able to find the trades that are good. So you need to find the trades that can possibly give you a higher percentage return, bro. You know, like you got to find trades that have a higher potential return. How do you do that? I mean, I've already shown you guys different strategies to do that. So how many of you, and don't say me and don't say signals, like, no, that's not the answer I'm looking for. I'm literally asking you guys how to find a really good trade based on what you've learned, not just from me, from whoever the fuck else, or your own experience. What do you guys think the number one, the best way to trade for higher probability is breakout trades, right? Now, what is, when I say breakout, what do I mean? So breakout trades is like breakout of support or resistance, breakout of pattern. Anything else? Breakout of what? Breakout of poverty. So breakout trades, breakout of support, breakout of pattern, breakout of zones, Now, another breakout can be this. It can be EMA crossovers. That's a breakout because you're coming out of two lines. What else? What dictates a breakout? Volume breakout. So these are the types of trades that you want to take, right? But there are factors that go along with each single one, right? So if you're looking at a breakout of support and resistance, you have to have a systematic plan to go along with that, right? So what, I've already given you guys systematic strategies, and I gave you 6. How many of you actually use those and it's worked? Okay. I show this shit all the time too. So look, these are different strategies that you can use, and a lot of you guys already fucking know this one, right? Now, you use this, but you also want to obviously use like my elevator method, right? So what can you use that with? You guys get my question? So step number 1 can be this. So number 1, find your profit targets using the elevator method. Now, when I say profit targets, I'm basically saying find support and resistance, because all support and resistance are levels within the chart where either demand exceeds the supply or the supply exceeds the demand, right? And they all can be used as profit targets, because at one point in time, that stock has stopped at that level, or that stock will stop at that level. Okay, what is the most someone said, what is the most profitable strategy out of the 6? Any of them. Okay, so find your profit targets. Now, after that, right, you want to use any of these strategies. Use any of the strategies above. So once you find, a play where either the stochastic comes first or the EMA comes first, and then the breakout of the pattern comes last, right? Once you find that, it's all about executing that trade. Now, we went over this earlier today in the first hour when we talk about execution, right? When we talk about execution, what's the most important part about executing a trade? Having no fear, right? Having the confidence. Now, fear comes in when, fear usually comes in when something doesn't happen, when something doesn't go your way and it goes the opposite way, right? Fear usually kicks in when you start, let's say you start, you enter a position, you make money, and then you start losing profits on it, and it comes back down, and that's when the fear kicks in. But how do you remain confident in your trade? Like, how many of you have been in a trade where you get taken out of it because of fear, only for it to actually go in the direction you thought it was going to go? Hey, make sure you don't do this shit tomorrow, bro. If you're saying this shit happens to you every fucking day, make sure what I'm telling you sticks in your head and it doesn't happen. So in order for you to remain confident, right? So in order to remain confident, all you have to do is have an understanding of charting and how price action works. Also, understand that not every trade will go your way. And that you aren't in the wrong if your trade hits your stop. How many of you have blamed yourself for a trade because it hit your stop loss and you start telling yourself that your strategy doesn't fucking work? It happens, right? Now, that's not what Tony says. But the thing is, the stock goes the right way a week later. It happens, right? But that means, okay, it's really hard. And this is, and I'm telling you the truth, right? Because I know I'm fucking consistent. I'm really trying to help you guys and show you guys how to become consistent, or else I want to spend all this time. But it truly is hard to really explain how it is I'm fucking profitable. Does that make sense? There's so much that goes on within, there's so much that goes on within trading that I cannot explain every single thing that runs through my mind. But one thing I know I'm good at is explaining these fundamentals and explaining to you what it means to execute a trade. Or obviously I'm good at showing you strategies, this and that, but there's so much more to that and being consistent with this, right? To me, it's more about the experience that you have with the market and what you take from the market every single day. What can you gain from the market every single day? Right? If you made a losing trade today, why did you make that losing trade? How is it a losing trade? What I want you to do is I want you to go back to the chart every single day, even if you win. And I want you, and this is what I used to do, I want you to write down why you won on that trade. What happened? So what you want to write down is, you want to write down between the first minute that you enter the trade and from that to where you exit, what kind of price action happened? Obviously, if you're buying calls, the fucking stock went up, right? But what kind of price action happened as it was going up? And how did you feel? How did you feel during this time? Why is it that your feelings matter when you're trading? Because how you feel will dictate what you'll do. If you feel like the stock is going to go down, that might instill some fear in you and cause you to exit the trade. If you feel like the stock is going to keep going up, then you might double down. If you feel like the stock might keep going up, then you might hold your trade longer. It's all about how you feel. Now, like I said, it's hard to explain how I'm fucking profitable and how I can be so consistent, but it's all with the execution, and it's all about having no fear. I'm not saying, be like, oh, Don't have a like have you need to have a combination of a carefree mind and only okay. I'm not saying be a carefree person only during the time that you're trading, right? Only during the time that you're trading, you want to like release all the bullshit feelings that you have and just focus on what's going on in front of you, right? So when you're trading, you don't have any type of fear, meaning if the trade doesn't go your way, it's okay. It happens, reset, try again if you want to. Now, if it doesn't go your way, but due to your understanding of charts and understanding of the market, or due to the experience that you've had in the past, you're not going to sell because if your bias is bullish, then you're going to remain bullish. Now, when is it considered, oh, this guy's just fucking reckless? Like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like he's holding his trade and he's back holding a 60% trade. Now, you can be considered reckless if you stick to hope. If you just hope that the price comes back up, then you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. But if you're using these different factors, like if you're using these indicators or strategies or whatever within the chart to help you, hey, oh, maybe when the stock's coming down right now, even though I'm buying calls, but we're nearing its next support. So instead of feeling fear, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this, look at this moment as an opportunity for me to learn from, because what happens to me is, when I'm trading, even if the stock is going down, I'm always looking for more opportunities to happen. I'm always looking for, instead of, being sad that I'm down, I'm literally focused on these candlesticks and what they're doing, and I'm trying to make sense of it all. So what you have to do is you have to try to make sense of everything that's going on in the chart. So how do you make sense of what's going on in the chart? Oh shit, you guys hear me? I thought I exited the fucking thing by accident. How do you make sense of what's going on in the chart? So every single wick that you see, every single candle that you see, you need to try to make sense of it by correlating that with previous price action. Meaning if you're looking at a 5-minute time frame and the stock dips and it's making a support at 120, then you need to see why it made a support at 120. Oh, because yesterday that's where the low of day is. Okay, well, if that's where the low of day is yesterday and we bounced yesterday, then that means we might bounce today. That's what I mean. Now, in terms of time frames, don't confuse yourself in like figuring out which the best time frame is. Like you don't need to confuse yourself on figuring out which one is the best fucking time frame. Like there is no best time frame. It depends on you. What are you comfortable with using, right? Are you comfortable with using the 15 minutes? Then use the 15 minutes, right? Just because I'm executing my trades on the 5 minutes and the 30 minutes doesn't mean that you should do it too. It's because I'm so used to looking at that every single day that that's what I'm comfortable with using. Now, here's also another reason why people fail. Like for example, right? I take all this time and I fucking show you guys all this stuff and I make these lessons for you guys. But some people, it doesn't sink into them and they continue to make mistakes. If you continue to make mistakes, where do you think you're going to be a year from now? Where do you think you're going to be 2 years from now? See, this guy's saying dead. Like, I can tell he's not fucking serious. Like, bro, what are you guys gonna be? Like, if you're here, right? Like, if I personally, right? Personally, I feel like if you really take this fucking seriously, you'll make a shit ton of money. And it's one of those things where it's like the success rate is so fucking low that if you don't give it every inch of what you got into it, there is always going to be another person that's working harder than you in terms of making themselves better at this. Now, what's another way for you to have an advantage trading, for example, right? I feel like people who are more carefree about their money have a higher advantage than those who are not carefree about it. Meaning, if you're using money that you cannot afford to lose, right? If you're using money that you can't afford to lose, then you're not going to see the full potential of what this can give you. Because if you're using money that you can't afford to lose, then you're limited to like, you know, certain trades, because you're not going to take these higher risk trades. You're not going to be willing, like, if you're using money that you can't afford to lose, you're going to miss out on trades, period. How many of you agree? Because you're like, oh, dude, I'm using the last 5K that I have in my account. I'm using the last 1,000. I'm using the last 500. I really can't afford to lose this. So that fear lives with you when you're trading. It literally lives with you. It's literally sitting right next to you, telling you, don't get in. You're gonna lose. Don't tell. Like, but if you use money that's expendable, you're more likely to win because you're more likely to risk. Now, exactly what Jordan just said. This should be a hobby that turns into a permanent job. Anyone else have any other tips? How many of you guys here think or know that you're consistent? And obviously, I can't be the one to judge. I can't tell you, but if you think you are, then you are. You know what helps? You know what? Yeah, treat it as a business. You know what helped me become more consistent too? Is that I don't risk more just because I'm making more. Don't risk more just because you are making more. Take your profits at the end of the week. At the end of the week, if you have to. Remember, the money that you make with trading isn't yours until it hits your bank account, right? How many of you have made money for the week and thought about taking it out, and then the next week you lose it? You're like, I should have taken it out. Why didn't you take it out? Answer that question. Why didn't you take it out? Answer that question though. Because you thought you can flip it to more. So what you're saying is, if you've been making $1,000 consistently for one fucking week, that means the next week you want to make 2,000. Tell me how that makes fucking sense. Obviously, yes, if you're using 1,000, you want to stack it up. But let's say you're using 10,000 and you're making $500 a day. At the end of the week, you take out fucking 2,500 instead of taking it out. You keep that. So now you have 12,500. Now, what the fuck is the difference between 12,500 and 10,000? Tell me. What you're gonna risk $400 more per trade? It's not gonna make that big of a difference. But if you continue to pay yourself, you're more inclined to have better risk management, and you're more inclined to be more excited to go into the market every week, because now you're like, someone said stacking up. Well, aren't you stacking up if you pay yourself? And here's the thing, and it always comes down to money. So you truly need to use an amount where it'll allow you to make money that you're happy with for the day. So what is my number? What is my two numbers? What is my two percentage numbers that you should look to make every day that is realistic? And I've been fucking doing this for the last 60 days. Like I lost like 4 times, but I've consistently been making 5 to 8% every fucking day. Now, what is the number that you guys want to make every day that'll keep you happy? Like for example, how much is a 9 to 5 how much is a minimum wage job pay you every day? If a minimum wage job gives you fucking $200 a day and you're making $200 a day with trading where you only sit for 30 minutes, is that not okay? That's okay, right? Obviously, if you have a certain lifestyle that you got to keep up with, that you cannot afford, you can't make 200, I got to make 1,000. Then if you have that type of lifestyle, then that means you should have enough money to start with to be able to make that amount and have it as a 5%. Does that make sense? If you have a lifestyle that you want to maintain, if you want to make 2,000 a day, then make sure your fucking account is big enough to where you can make 2,000 and it being 5%. Does that make sense? But obviously, if you're trying to make 1,000 a day, but your lifestyle, you're only fucking spending like $50 a day or $25 a day, that means you don't have that much money to begin with, and that's a fact. So you cannot have unrealistic expectations to how much you're gonna make, bro. That you can't. You gotta grow that account to where you can end up making more, obviously, but other than growing an account, you also got to, for example, if I'm starting out with 1,000, obviously we're gonna do the challenge and we're gonna see where that goes. But if you're not, if I wasn't doing the challenge and I only had 1,000 to start with, then I'll use that 1,000, and every time I get money, I'll take 25% of it and I'll put it in my account. Because if my goal is to make, look, if your goal is to make $1,000 a day, right? How much money needs to be in your account for you to make $1,000 a day, and that being 5% of your account? 20,000. So that means if you want to make $500 a day, you need, if you want to make, $500 to $1,000 a day, then you need to have 20,000 in your account. Does that make sense? Once you do that, then, right, once you do that, then you focus on the strategies that you have. Because if you cannot get your risk management game right, no matter how good you think you are at charting or at strategies, you're not gonna go anywhere. Now, what kinds of trades have I been taking on this account? Let's go over some how many of you guys ready to go over some charts for a bit? You guys get what I just explained, right? I didn't waste my fucking breath. Jesus, headache. All right, so I'm not gonna go over every single thing that I have on my chart, but these levels that I have drawn, they're drawn from a 4-hour hourly perspective. Okay, so these are levels that I consider to be strong. Okay. Why am I not signaling on Telegram? What do you mean? I've been signaling. Just because I signaled one fucking trade today. I only took like 3 trades. And I was done with it before the dump. Okay, so charting wise, right? Charting wise, yeah, I kind of like doing voice. Like I'll do that again. But it's just sometimes I feel like how many of you know understand this where I'm coming from? Sometimes I feel like when you're trading by yourself without people watching you or waiting for you, obviously if I'm signaling something, everyone's waiting for me to say something. But if I'm by myself and I'm looking for plays by myself without knowing that there are people fucking watching me right there, right then and there, I feel like I'm better off doing that. It takes away from my focus. Exactly. It's a lot more stressful for me to sit there and everyone's like, yo, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's pressuring me to maybe enter trades that I don't want to fucking be in. All for the sake of you trying to make money. You get me? Because I had to enter it too. And more than likely, I'm using more than you are. So if I lose on this, I'm losing way more. And sometimes people don't even take the plays. Look, okay, so now, well, obviously, I always talk about this. The main time frame that I use is the 4-hour and the hourly. Now, if I'm just charting, if I'm just charting and I'm trying to make my levels, I'll use a 4-hour. But if I'm trying to find positions for my day trades, I use the hourly chart. Okay, so the hourly chart is what I use. Now, how do I take advantage of the hourly chart? Now, the reason why I like the hourly chart better than the 4 hours is because how many candles show up every day on the 4 hours per day? Two. How many does an hourly chart show? 6. So I think and I feel like 6 candles is enough for me to figure out what might happen. I can't use anything more than that because if I start going on the 15 minutes, there ends up being too much noise happening, like too much noise I see there, right? But the hourly I think is perfect because I can, like, for example, let's make some patterns, right? Obviously, there were some strategies that I've shown you guys in the past, like the size of the pull, the breakout of the flag, things like that. You guys should already know that, and you guys already know that that works, right? So the best way, the best chart patterns to trade are, to me, are ranges. So the top and bottoms of ranges. They're easily predictable and you can easily make money off of it. The reason why the 1 hour is perfect is because if you see a bearish pattern or if you see a bullish pattern, you can go off of the hourly and use your 5-minute, 15-minute levels for entry, and you can hold your trade throughout the day or even swing it to the next day, depending on where we are within the pattern. Now, if you're, for example, if you're trading this, right? If you're, let's say we're going on this day and we're trading this, right? We're trying to trade this and we're trying to trade the breakout of 410, right? Trying to trade the breakout of 410. Is this something that you can swing into the next day? No, because what you have to see is this range that we have, right? What is the distance between the top and bottom of the range? And that distance, that number, you have to correlate it with the ATR of the stock. So if the ATR of SPY is $3-4 and the move but from the bottom range and the top range is $4, then do you think you can swing that to the next day? No, because it hasn't even gone up to the top of the range yet, right? But for you to assume that it's going to keep going the next day, you can't really do that. Now, if the range is higher and it's like right here, then yes, you might be able to swing it into the next day, because what might happen after hours is a period of consolidation and a continuation the next day, but that doesn't always happen. So ATR on what time frame? Jay, listen, buddy. ATR is ATR. Okay. The ATR doesn't change on any time frame. The ATR stays the same. The ATR is the average true range of the stock, meaning ATR is how much the stock can move by per day. It doesn't change depending on the time frame because it's that one number is that one number. So if SPY has an ATR of $4, then SPY has an ATR of $4 on a daily. SPY has an ATR of $4 on the 4 hours. SPY has an ATR of $4 on the 1 minute. SPY has an ATR of $4 on the 20-second. Doesn't change. ATR is ATR. Now, Brandon says, yeah, we were all there at one point. True. We love you. If it already exhausted $4 up, then can it go down $4? Okay. Now, that's a hard question to answer because if it's already gone up $4 and that's the ATR, then most likely we had a really good day. And most likely it's not going to come back down another $4 to the downside unless it was a bull trap. Like when? Like today. But usually what happens is when bull traps happen, what usually happens is you have an up move that happens pre-market. Okay. And then it comes back down within the first 2-3 hours. Now, was today predictable in terms of if you were to utilize this range, was today predictable? Yes, right? Obviously, we wanted this to come up. We wanted this to break out today. That's what I wanted. But as long as you have two areas where the stock keeps bouncing up and down, you can use that to your advantage. But some people don't. Like, how many of you didn't even look at this chart today and missed out on the down move? The reason why I missed out on the down move was because I was already done. But how many of you miss out on trades because you fail to look at the chart, and then once you come back to the chart that night, you're like, damn, I could have caught it. So for those of you that said yes, what are you gonna do from now on every single day before you make a trade, or before you make a trade for the next day? You're going to chart the night before, and you're going to write down what you're going to potentially trade, and you're going to stick to the levels that you've written down on the chart, and you're going to only trade those levels. Now, how do I find my next entry for SPY? Now, okay, first, how did I make, how was I able to be consistent the past 6 days and make money? Okay. Even though we didn't really go up or down that much on SPY, we relatively stay the same. We're literally, so look, the high of last Friday is the same as the low of today. But how am I able to stay consistent every single day? What do I focus on so that allows me to be consistent every single day? I focus on the price action. I follow my watch list, and I'm only trading names that are in the watch list. And whenever I feel like it's going to go a certain direction, I don't switch up my bias. Of course, you can switch up your bias. But if you have a level that you think it might go to and it makes sense to you because your strategy works, then you need to stick to that. Now, the only time that changes is when you enter at the wrong time. When do you enter at the wrong time? If you enter too late, if you enter too early, then that's the wrong time. But if you enter it where you were supposed to enter it according to your strategy or plan, then there's no need for you to switch up on your bias. Now, another reason why you might want to switch your bias is by using the ATR to your advantage. So if you have I'm gonna tell you guys the sauce, but before that, I want you guys to tag me because I've been on here for fucking almost 3 hours, bro. Go tag me on IG now. Someone says it's been an hour. That's probably because you got in at the second half. Someone said an hour. How disrespectful. When did I send the invite? Why do you need tagging? You're already famous. Because I'm making an effort to show up and help you. So why can't you just do this? I don't need you to tag me. I'm just making you because I can. I sent the invite at 9:24 p.m. and it's 12. Yeah, it is the least they can do. But anyways, whatever. You're still gonna listen to me and use my strategy anyways. All right. Look, so this is the ATR sauce. Okay, so you know how everything with trading has to do with math, right? You guys believe that? Like when you're, when we're looking at the size of the pool and we're looking at the breakout of the pool, it's the same size. And then how many of you guys saw the last class that I made where the elevator levels, they're all the same distance from each other? You guys saw that one? Where it's like the top range and the midpoint, the distance between the midpoint and the top range is the distance between the bottom range and the top half. Like, what the fuck? Now, this works with ATRs too. And how does that work, right? So with ATRs, it's like this. So if your ATR is 10, right? Or let's say your ATR is 8. So if what I do is I divide my ATRs in fourths. So if I divide this into 4, what do I get? 2. So that's what I use, the distance 2. So if I use 2 as a distance, that means if the stock is up $4, meaning it's up half its ATR, right? It has 4 more to go, obviously. But if the stock is up let's say if the stock is up $6 and it comes down $2, then that can be looked at as a what? As a pullback or as a reversal? As a pullback. Okay. Now, if the stock is up $7 and it comes down $4, then that is a reversal. If the stock is up $4 and it comes down $4, it's a reversal. If the stock is up $5 and it comes down $3, then it's a what? What do you think it is? It's a pullback. So you want to use increments of 2. But once it crosses, right? Once it crosses that top half, okay? Once you're at the, like, if the stock is up $7, or if it's up $8 and it comes down $2, that's a reversal because it can't continue to go up. Now, this is one of those things where, and this is a perfect example because how many of you have seen the stock soar and it pulls back and you think that it's going to continue and it just dumps and you just get the flush? That's what I mean by that. If the stock is up $2 and it comes down $3, That's a what? It's a reversal. Does that make sense? Because now you're jumping into because now you're breaking below pre-market highs at that point. I mean, you can use, so this isn't for you to say, okay, well, tomorrow if we go up $4 and it comes back down $2, it's a pullback. No, it's just to kind of help assist you along with the price action that's happening before you. It's just to help you, because if you think about charting as math, and you were to divide, if you were to divide this, like, for example, like if you were to divide this, like let's say you're using this as your bottom and this as the top. If you're dividing this like this, right, if you're dividing it by that, then this is what I'm talking about. So if it goes up like right here and it comes back down, then that's a pullback. But if it comes up here and it comes back down here, then that's a reversal. And if it comes up here and it comes back down below here, then that's a reversal. If it comes up here and it comes back down here, then that's a reversal. It's just like that, depending on how much you want to divide the ATR by. But I usually like to divide it into $2 increments. Now, this is the same for a stock with a $40. But the thing is, not these names don't like none of these names really have a $40 ATR nowadays. Other than like Tesla, where it has like probably like 25 or something. You guys all tag me. You guys all learn a few things today. So what to kind of have you guys give me a response. What do you guys think? Like, why like, how am I able to be profitable? Like, how am I able to be so, I'm not being cocky at all either. Like, how am I able to be so consistent and so profitable? What do you think I do? Like, is it fucking magic or fucking voodoo, or what is it? Like, you should already notice this by now, by the way I speak, or by the way I fucking show you guys this stuff. I have a solid system. I'm very passionate about this, and I don't like to lose. And if I lose, I do everything in my power to figure out why I lost, and I try to prevent that from happening again. And I have a carefree mindset when I'm trading. Quickly, you want me to go over some names? I'll give you 3 names for a watch list real quick. But look, honestly, we're bearish. I can tell you that. So just look for puts, basically. But here, we'll do... No, I do not blaze. You guys still use that word? Just blaze it, fool. 420, blaze it, dog. All right. Pattern analysis before the day tomorrow, right? In a bigger picture, we're in a bull flag on the 4-hour, right? Kind of. Now, this is why it's important to figure out which one of these, because you can make a bearish pattern and you can make a bullish pattern. You can literally make both on every single stock. Which one do you go with though? So this is my bullish pattern, right? Now, if you use a top seed strategy, we're not bullish until we come back above here. And this makes sense because if we come back above here, right, this area, that means we're going to be above not only this support level, but we're going to be above the moving average. So if we come back above 890, then yes, the trend, the shift in direction will change. But considering where we already are right here, you have to understand this is support, this is support, this is support. Right now, it's after hours. We're falling below support already. So now this becomes a resistance level. So in order for us to come back all the way up here, which isn't that far, but it really is far considering the amount of selling pressure we're facing right now, right? We're most likely going to reject this tomorrow and have a falling knife all the way down to this right here. So my target for Tesla is going to be here for tomorrow, 856. SPY. Okay, on SPY, you have this range. Now, this was our opportunity to bounce, and this is what you gotta also look at is how long did it take for us to come back up in the past? How long did it take for us to come back up after staying at the support line or after staying at the resistance, right? So usually we only have how many days before we come back down? It's usually only 1 day before we come back down, right? Usually the next day we come down, next day we come down, or then if we're down here, next day we come up, next day we come down, next day we come up, next day we come down. But right here, right? What has to happen tomorrow? So this is a way for you to figure out. So we have to come up tomorrow, right? Obviously, you have to come up in order for this pattern to still be valid. But how do you figure out whether tomorrow might be bearish or bullish? Without waiting, right? Without waiting for our trend line to break. What you want to do is you want to divide this pattern in half. That's how I do it. You divide this pattern in half into two halves. So now I have one here, and I have one here. So if I look at it this way, right? Every single time we've come up, right? It has to break above the first line. It has to break above the first line. It has to break above the first line. Have we broken above the first line yet? No. So instead of waiting for this to hit, all we have to do is wait for 414 to break down or to reject, and we can enter our puts before we even hit 412. So now we're entering before everyone else, and we can catch the IV, and we can catch a bigger move to the downside than waiting for 412 to hit and buying it at a higher price. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for coming today. If you haven't tagged me, please tag me. Appreciate it. Hopefully this helped you guys, become better. I appreciate you guys coming. If any one of you guys want to join the class I'm doing in August, 10th of August, let me know. I'll even link it to you here. Anybody want me to do that? But hopefully I've given you guys enough today to do that, to help you become better. But I'll post this recording by the end of tonight, promise. Because I'm like, okay, I'll fucking do it. But here, if you guys want to join the next class at the end of August, I'm gonna link it to you guys here. I just linked it. I'll take 3 more people. But thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. Fucking thugging it out for 3 hours. Let's go. Go up. You're trash. You make no goo up. All right. Thank you guys. See you soon. I'll put this up by tonight. You guys want me to, right? Yeah, Jasper is trash too. Man, he's been sitting here for 3 hours. He's been sitting here for 3 hours. Like, go suck your mom's titties. Fucking Jasper. All right, fellas. Later.